All right, we're here for another interview with Mr. Gbenga Ogunjimi. He's the CEO of the Nigerian Center in Washington, D.C. We're so happy to have you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome, you're welcome. When I first met you and I saw you, I was just blown away. I didn't even know we had a Nigerian Center in Washington, D.C. So we're going to get into that. And again, we just want to say thank you. All right. So for the first question we have for you is, where are you from, and tell us about your upbringing.
I'm from Lagos, Nigeria, particularly Ikorodu. Ikorodu is a suburb of Lagos. I have the opportunity or privilege to be born into a house of leaders. My mom was an entrepreneur. My dad is a leader in the realm of business, professional. I think it was from their professional trajectories that I drew my identity in the world of business as an entrepreneur, particularly a social entrepreneur. Values like philanthropy, community service, impact, faith was very big, and also that's where I draw my core values from. And I think this just kind of prepared me for who I am and what I do today.
That's great. For the viewers who may not know, can you define and let us know what is a social entrepreneur?
Yeah, a social entrepreneur is just like a for-profit entrepreneur, but their motivation is more impact and social driven. They are led to make a difference in their community, but doing it as a business. They may incorporate as a for-profit or a non-for-profit, but usually profit for them, it's a means to an opportunity to get to impact. And I think that's what a social entrepreneur is.
Thank you very much for that. We also have a question for you regarding your background. So before you created and started the Nigerian Center, what was life like?
I came to the United States through a State Department program, and it was called Atlas Corps. The idea is programs like the Peace Corps give a lot of Americans opportunity to go overseas to serve, but you can say the same for leaders overseas to come here to serve. So that program allowed me to come here to Washington, D.C. And while in Washington, D.C., I started to notice that within the international volunteer service space, there's an opportunity to use more minority participation. Realistically, it was very white, those who try the opportunity to go overseas. But those who come from certain communities, because of many realities, particularly financial realities they have to navigate, there isn't a lot of opportunities for participation. So that was my very first enterprise that I started in Washington, D.C. called LDI Africa. It's a pro bono consulting firm taking talent from Washington, D.C., from New York, from California, Boston, and taking them to serve in about 10 countries on the continent. So whereas Peace Corps volunteers were like working in nonprofits and community projects, LDI volunteers were working with for-profit, with small businesses, and helping them with strategy, with marketing, with fundraising. So that was kind of the world that I was in. I made a pivot into the world of executive coaching for-profit, and most recently I started working with financial institutions. But what I realized was in many financial institutions that I work with, those who come from certain minority communities, there is a community component to support their transition into America. They may have certain paperwork missing, they can go back to their community center and get fixed. They may have work with paperwork, immigration, health insurance. They can go to a community center, they can help them fix it. But I realized that in the Nigerian community, there was nowhere to send people to. So pretty much that was what my life was before coming into Nigerian Center.